Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. I am Monae and you are watching Life is Monae. I have so many books that I anticipate to be 5-star reads, and that is new for me. I don't ever have a full list of books that I expect to be 5 stars, but apparently I do now. And so since I do have a list of 5-star reads, I want to record this monumental moment because we don't know when it's going to happen again. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the books that I anticipate to be 5-star reads. The first book was acquired during a recent Barnes & Noble shopping spree, and that is going to be Honeycomb. I saw this cover and I was like drawn to it, and I have recently seen the cover for the UK version of this book, and it is so beautiful. I am really hoping that I love this book. I mean, I feel like I'm going to, but I'm really hoping that I love this book, because if I do, I will surely be ordering the UK version of this book, because the UK cover is just chef's kiss. Like, they put a lot of work and money behind the covers of these books, and it's supposed to be a book with interwoven and interconnected stories, and they're supposed to be whimsical and overlap with one another. And the story includes bees, which I don't know what it is about whimsical story and bees, but every time they're present, I just love them so much. I'm gonna read the synopsis of this one. The toy maker wants to create the perfect wife, the princess whose heart is won by words, not actions, the tiny dog whose confidence far outweighs his size, and the sinister lace-winged king who rules over the silken folk. Dark, gripping, and brilliantly imaginative, these interwoven magical stories of a war between kingdoms will soon have you in their enthralls. So I went to go look up the author of this book, because I don't believe I've ever seen their name anywhere, and then I found out that she has like 14 books that includes like short stories and cookbooks, which is very random, but I just love the way the synopsis sound. The book was not the cheapest, and when I order the UK version, it's not gonna be the cheapest, so I really hope that Joanne makes it worth my while, if you know what I mean. So next up, we have the Atlas 6. In this book, we have this secret society who protect the Alexandrian Library. If you know a lot about history, you know that like the Library of Alexandria was like this massive thing that was supposed to contain all of the knowledge in the world. So in this book, we always have 5 super talented magicians who protect the secret Alexandrian library, and every decade there are 6 initiatives who are taken in, and they all vie for a spot to be one of the 5 protectors of this library, and they compete with one another, and it's supposed to be like this deadly aspect to it. It's a dark academia, which is the feel that I get from this book, and 6 people are accepted, 5 will be nominated, and 1 will be eliminated. And I'm guessing eliminated means terminated, in which case they're gonna die. And I just, in my head, I expect us to come across these super like goth-like characters. It says that each talent is going to be unique to the character, and so I'm really hoping that that's true in this book. I want to be attached to the characters when I read this book, but I also don't want the magic to be predictable. I don't want to be able to pick out the winner. Like, whoever I'm rooting for in this book, I still want there to be a heavy amount of competition, to where sometimes I'm questioning if my chosen winner will even be one of the 5 elected. I really like the cover of this book. I do know that it is a self-published book. I don't believe that there is any publishing company behind it, and I believe that the author of this book, Olivia Blake, actually has a YouTube channel here on YouTube. I believe that she's more on the AuthorTube side. I am expecting to love this book. Like, I am not gonna lie, I have high expectations for this one, and let's just hope that it hits. The next book that I expect to be a 5-star read is going to be Spinning Silver. This is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling where we're following this girl who, her family is very poor, and her father is often unable to pay the debts that he gets himself involved with. And so she sets out to make a living for herself and for her family. And there's this rumor that comes about that says that she can turn silver into gold. And while this rumor is running amok in this world, it draws the attention of the king, and he calls upon her to do her magic, and she discovers that something sinister is happening within the kingdom and is threatening to consume the kingdom and other surrounding kingdoms, and she has to do everything in her power to stop it. And she teams up with some unlikely allies, and I am just here for the Rumpelstiltskin retelling aspect, especially as a female character, and it's fantasy. I saw that this book has really high ratings on Goodreads, and while we don't always trust Goodreads, the reviews were like in the 100,000, and it's still sitting at over 4 stars on Goodreads. That sounds promising even for Goodreads. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a 5-star, just because there is some historical references in this book, and I feel like that's going to be an added plus for me because I do love history. So we shall see. So the next 5-star prediction is one that I've talked about on my channel quite frequently, and that is going to be rabbits. So in this world, there is this dark web competition that happens once every decade or so, and no one knows what the competition truly is. It's hard to get a seat to the games or even participate in the games, and no one knows who wins or what it is that they win, and there's just a lot of conspiracy theories that go on around this game. And we have a main character named Kay who's super consumed with getting into the game. Before the game starts, Kay is approached by someone who claims to have won the previous game, and they tell Kay that someone is threatening to ruin the game and is pretty much going to cause damage to the entire world, even those who have no idea about the game or who are not participating in any way, and that Kay must do everything they can to stop what's happening and to stop this person. But however, as Kay starts to investigate, the person who came to warn them disappears. Kay cannot find them. They fall off of the face of the earth, and Kay runs out of time and the game commences. And so Kay must participate in the game without knowing what it is they're supposed to be doing, who they're competing against, and they're also trying to do background investigative work to figure out who has rigged the game and in what way have they rigged it. And there's just so many loose threads in this book. There's so many loose threads in the synopsis, and there's this idea that we're going to be traveling down a rabbit hole where one rock overturns another rock, and that it's just a bunch of mysteries that will probably only make sense towards the end. The next 5-star prediction that I have is going to be the other black girl. In this book, we are following an editorial assistant at a publishing company named Nella. Nella is the only black girl in her workspace, and suddenly there's a new hire by the name of Hazel, and Hazel is another black girl, and Nella is super excited to no longer be the only person of color in her office space. They meet, they hit it off, they start emailing each other, exchanging recipes and hair regimens, and everything seems to be going well until something starts to shift in the workplace, and Hazel becomes the focus and the it girl, and Nella kind of becomes this outsider even though she's the one that has the tenure within this company. And then someone starts to target her, and they're leaving notes and emails basically telling her that she needs to quit her job and get out, and she feels like someone is targeting her and she doesn't know why, and someone is trying to force her out and have Hazel replace her all the way. There's supposed to be a get out aspect to this. The author of this book actually is a woman of color who used to work in publishing, and she took her real life experience from working in publishing, which is not the most inclusive and diverse, and put it into this book, and I'm expecting it to really be a heavy hitter. It's already a black thriller that has a get out aspect, which I love those books. I have been enjoying those books, and it's being written in like an own voices kind of way because this is a black woman who has worked in publishing, and so she knows firsthand what this feels like. And so just because of that reason alone, like all those components, I feel like this is going to be a 5-star read for me. But if not, it'll definitely at least be a 4-star. I know that's kind of biased, but I don't plan to give it anything less than 4 stars unless it absolutely sucks. Like, sue me. I'm letting you know right now that the review, if the book sucks, it's going to be a biased review because it can't suck. So the next 5-star prediction I have is going to be The Shadowed Sun, just book 2 in the Dream Blood duology by N.K. Jemisin. Now in the first book, there was so many components that I was supposed to absolutely love. We are in this ancient Egyptian city. We have spies who go around basically killing people who need to be killed, and everyone kind of contributes dream fluids, dream blood, dream seed to the goddess of this city. And something is happening to where the city is becoming corrupt. And so we have a diplomatic person. She's trying to prevent this kingdom from going to war with her kingdom, and the priesthood of people who are actually elected to be the size are supposed to have this sacred religious ritual, and something is happening to where even they are becoming corrupt and they don't know who to trust between one another, and there's just plots unfolding within the book. And there was just something that just did not really hit for me in the first book, so it wasn't like, I didn't love it as much as I knew I was absolutely supposed to. And something in me is just telling me that this is going to fix everything that I was missing in the first book. I know 4 people who have read the entire Dream Blood duology, and all 4 of them say that the second book is far more superior than the first one. And so that alone is just letting me know that, like, I read the first one, I did enjoy it. It's just, it didn't hit in the usual N.K. Jemisin fashion that I'm used to. And something about what they're telling me just makes me feel like this is going to change that for me. And honestly, now that I'm like holding it in my hand, the characters in these books live rent-free in my mind. I can't wait to catch back up with them to see what's happening. In this book, we are following a new character. We're following old characters from the first book that I did enjoy, and we're also following a new character who was kind of like a sideline character in the first book, The Killing Moon, and now we get to see the book from their point of view. And I'm excited for that too, because I did enjoy them as a character. And like, from where we ended in the first book, I can't wait to see like how they took the plot and the ending and like what happened to them afterwards. So I definitely plan to be reading this book soon, and this will be wrapping up like the N.K. Jemisin novels for me. This is the last book from her that I have not read, and the only thing that really is left is her short stories, which I don't know if I plan to read, but I really do love her writing, and I hear great things about Emergency Skin, so maybe I just need to read that. And I'm also not planning to continue with the Great Cities series, so this is going to be like the last time I get to enjoy her work for a while until she puts out new things. And that's kind of making me a little sad, I'm not going to lie. Those are all the books that I anticipate to be 5-star reads. And I'm excited to read them and post reviews on my channel to let you know if they held up to my expectations. And if there's a book here that caught your attention and that you really want to know how I felt about it, comment that book below so I can make sure that I post a review for that just for you. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.